questions. Okay, my name is Dr. Jared Conway. I'm the director of the CPE GDL program in law at Brunel. I've been directing the course for several years now, so I believe I have a good range of experience of the students in the course and the issues that they have. Okay, firstly, I'd like to say a little bit about the demographic of the student body who applies to the CPE GDL at Brunel. Well, first of all, just to briefly explain what the CPE GDL is, it's an accelerated course designed to be the equivalent of an undergraduate Bachelor of Laws degree. And it's intended for graduates in disciplines other than law and for mature students who have professional experience. In other words, people who have not studied law before, who don't want to do a full program at undergraduate level, but who want to get the equivalent knowledge in order to be able to go on working in various capacities where a university education in law is necessary or is useful. So what kind of students do we have on the course? First of all, we have quite a few students each year who have just graduated in another subject other than law, including students from Brunel, but also students from other universities in London and from throughout the UK. And these students will have done degrees in various other subjects. We get quite a lot of students with backgrounds in social science or arts and humanities or business, but we also have students who have graduated in, say, science subjects or engineering subjects. That's the first group of students on the course. Secondly, we have students who have graduated and who also have experience, so they may have been working for several years or for quite a long time in various different professional positions. And this group overlaps with the next group of students we have, which is mature students. And we tend to have a small number of mature students each year, 1 to 3 students, and these can have all kinds of professional backgrounds. So for example, I've had a mature student who's been a journalist, somebody who's worked as a lay magistrate, somebody who's worked in business, somebody who's worked in the healthcare sector. So again, a wide range of different kinds of backgrounds are to be found amongst the students. Geographically, we get students, of course, from the United Kingdom, but we also get a significant number of students from other countries in the EU and a significant number of international students. And for example, in the current year, we've had a student from Mauritius and a student from Bangladesh. In other years, we've had students from Canada, from Sweden, from Greece, from France. So we have students from a wide range of different countries on the course at various times. And in some years, we have 3 to 4 international students. And that reflects the makeup of the student body at Brunel, which is one of the most international universities in the UK. Okay, next, what I'd like to say is a little bit about the course structure, the basic essential points of what you will be studying on the CPE program. There are 8 subjects covered in the program. 7 of these subjects are what's called foundation subjects, and these are core subjects in any law program. The 8th subject is an optional subject, and at Brunel we've decided that the 8th subject should be evidence, which is a very practical subject that cuts across various individual subjects in terms of relevance and is also very relevant to legal practice later on. On the full-time CPE program, there are 8 subjects in 1 year, and on the part-time program, there are 4 subjects in each year. So as you can see from that, the full-time program is an intense one, and it takes a consistent commitment during the year, but anybody who's eligible to apply, anybody who's accepted onto the program will have the ability to do that. Okay, to say a little bit about the course structure. Okay, thank you for waiting. I just needed to make an editing correction to this current slide. Okay, so what I want to list now are the subjects in the course. And I've listed here this 7 foundation subjects along with the evidence law subject. And to list them, I won't say very much about each of them. It's not really possible to say which one is hard or which one is easy. Students have different views of that. But the subjects that you'll be studying are contract law, criminal law, European Union law, evidence law, land law, public law, tort law, and trust law. And you can see from the screen which subjects you would be studying in year 1 and which subjects you would be studying in year 2 if you do the part-time program. Okay, I'd like to speak a little bit now about the CPE GDL program at Brunel more generally. What is it about the CPE program at Brunel that's distinctive? Because the basic course is similar across university providers. Well, first of all, one of the things that distinguishes us at Brunel is that we have a small cohort on our CPE program. We are allowed to take 30 students each year, and our intake varies from 10 to 25 students usually. This year we had quite a small cohort, and next year it's looking like we'll have a significantly larger group of students in the course. We have expert academic staff from a leading research law school. There are many law schools in the UK, but Brunel is amongst those which is prominent in research. So what that means is that the teachers on your courses are going to be experts in what they're teaching and very often have published in that area. So we don't just provide an approach of you learn legal rules that you might need at a later stage. We try to provide an in-depth academic treatment of the subject that is both informed by theory and by an understanding of the context of law. And this is something that makes us a bit distinctive compared to quite a lot of other CPE GDL programs. A few years ago, the law school at Brunel moved into a dedicated law school building, which with its own moot courtroom. A moot courtroom is a mock court, and this is available both for classes and for use in mock trials and other activities in the school. In fact, most of the CPE teaching is in this room. We have an extensive program of extracurricular activities through the Law Society, including mooting and debating. This is something that your students are free to take part in from any program within the school. The law school at Brunel, as I mentioned, is a very research active school, and that means that we have numerous invited speakers and research related events during the year. So as well as activities organised by the students through the Law Society, the staff are often involved in organising seminars and academic events in the school. CPE students have the option of participating in all of these events if they wish to, given the free time any free time that's available to them. In addition, we have an excellent award-winning placement and career centre. The law school at Brunel is well known within the UK for providing a placement program for its undergraduate students, and as a result, our placement and career centre has a lot of experience in engaging with employers who are interested in hiring lawyers and law graduates. There is a dedicated law consultant in the Placement and Career Centre, Bridget Lavin, who will speak to you during your induction course and who is available to meet with you from the beginning of the program for individual one-to-one meetings to plan your career. And finally, I'm in the process at the moment of establishing a CPE alumni network within the university and within the law school. And one of the main aims of the network is to provide mentoring and career advice for current students from our past students who've gone on to be professionally successful. And this is something that I intend will be up and running by the time you start your course, and is something that you will be able to benefit from. And in time, something that you can join yourself in order to connect with Brunel and help future students. Finally, I'd like to say a little bit about the university generally. Brunel University London is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. It's been established since 1966. There were predecessor institutions for quite a long time before that, from the 19th century. But the university was granted its charter in 1966, and we're celebrating our 50th anniversary in 2016. So we are a well-established university within London. We're also a research-based university generally. I mentioned that the law school is prominent for its research, and this is true across all the subjects within the university. We are a research-driven university, and we're well known for our academic strengths across a range of disciplines, especially in engineering, for example, because of our namesake, Isambard Brunel, but also in social sciences, in business, and in arts and design. So what Brunel aims to do and what we provide our students is both practical and theoretical credibility in our programs. This is reflected on the CPE program. Yes, the CPE is a preparation very often for future professional qualification. It's also an academic experience. We try to balance practical and academic concerns in our teaching. The university community itself is very diverse and international. I mentioned that the CPE program has always had international students on it. There are many international students in the student community in Brunel as a university. We have many international research students, for example. Within the law school, we have PhD students from all over the world. We also attract international students on our master's programs and also to our undergraduate programs. And this is something that makes university life in Brunel a bit diverse and interesting and distinctive. Finally, for those of you who are interested, we have excellent sports facilities that have hosted Olympic athletes in the university. In the past, we've had several students who've been on sporting scholarships during their studies on the CPE, and if this is something that is interesting for you, then there are plenty of options when you do get to Brunel. Okay, thank you very much for listening to me. I'm now able to answer any questions you have, so please feel free to post your questions online. Thank you, Kelly, for your posted response. Thank you for listening. Feel free to post any questions you have. Okay. Okay, thank you all very much again for being online for the presentation. What I'll do now is just briefly go through some things that people commonly ask me about the program. The first thing I'm asked usually is how many classes there are to attend, and related to that, is it possible to work during the course? Well, for each subject that you study, there is generally 2 hours of class time a week. So on the full-time program, that means up to 16 hours of classes a week. Now, one of the subjects, evidence, is research-based, and generally there will be just 1 hour of optional lectures in that subject, but you may also meet with the tutor for a time during the week. So essentially, you've got 16 hours of class time on the full-time course, and on the part-time course you've got half that, so 8 hours of class time. Is it possible to work on the course? On the full-time program, it's very intense. It's the equivalent of doing 2 years of a final undergraduate degree in 1 year. That's one way of describing it. And that does make it difficult to work at the same time as studying. In fact, it's almost impossible to do very much work. So it would only be possible to work a few hours a week really on the full-time program. However, on the part-time program, it's certainly possible to work part-time. And we introduced the part-time program a number of years ago because we had a lot of students who would start the course, but who would feel that it was too intense for them and they needed to do it part-time. So it's helped us a lot to keep students on the course, that they have the option anytime during term 1 of transferring to the part-time program. And this is something that makes the program more flexible, and it's something that, as I say, it's an option, it's a right that you have all the way during the first term. Something else that I'm very commonly asked about is the methods of assessment. What is expected of you in terms of preparation and work and exams during the year. We encourage students to attend as many classes as they can. One of the things that makes success in the program, one of the things that contributes to success in the program is regular attendance. Every year we have students who attend very regularly and some students who don't attend very regularly. And very often there's a link between attendance and doing well on exams and assessments. We don't enforce attendance, but we will contact students who are not attending regularly. And it is, as I say, a very good thing to do. If you cannot attend some classes, and it's not a big problem on the course if you cannot do so, but it is very recommended that you take advantage of the online materials to catch up. So, as I say, one of the things that's important to success is consistency and working consistently during the year. Law is a very intense, volume-driven subject. It's not necessarily more complicated than other subjects, but there is a lot of material to get through, a lot of memory work in it, and that's why consistent work in the courses, especially attendance, is very helpful for studying law. What kind of assessments do we have? We have a variety of assessments. In law as a discipline, the traditional method of assessment has been a sit-down examination at the end of the course. We do have this kind of examination in all the 7 foundation subjects, but in 3 of the foundation subjects we also have a coursework element, and in those subjects the coursework counts for 50% of the exam. So we try to have a balance of assessment methods. On the 8th subject, the law of evidence, which is in year 2 in the part-time course, this is a research-based course, and there is 1 long coursework to do and no sit-down end-of-year exam. You do not have to attend evidence classes, although we encourage students to attend undergraduate lectures in evidence, and we encourage them to meet directly with their tutor during their research for the course. Finally, a very practical question that you might be interested in concerns paying the fees. Do you have to pay the fees all at once? You don't have to pay fees all at once. You have the option of arranging to pay fees in installments with the Student Centre. And the Student Centre will allow students to pay fees in up to 6 installments, which students often find helpful when they're preparing to come to Brunel for the course. Thank you very much for being online and for listening to me. I'm happy to take any questions you now have. I'm also very happy to answer your questions by email. Okay. Yes, okay. Thank you, Kelly, for your questions. The first question you have, it is a year course, isn't it? Yes, it is a year course. The full-time course lasts from September until the end of May. The part-time course takes place over 2 years. It starts in September, ends in June, at the end of May for the first year, and then begins again the following September and goes on to the following June. But the full-time course is 1 year. Your second question, after the course, what do I have to do? After the course, to qualify as a lawyer, you've got two options. One is to qualify as a solicitor, and the other is to qualify as a barrister. To qualify as a solicitor, you need to do what's called the legal practice course, and to qualify as a barrister, you need to do what's called the bar professional training course. The CPE or GDL, the term CPE means Common Professional Examination. That's the professional term for the course. At university, we call it the Graduate Diploma in Law. That's its university designation. The CPE and the GDL are the same thing. They are the academic stage, in other words, the first stage of qualifying as a lawyer. And GDL is equivalent to a Bachelor of Laws degree. So they both fulfill the academic stage, the first stage of qualifying as a lawyer. The second stage of qualifying as a lawyer is to do either the legal practice course for solicitors or the bar professional training course for barristers. That is the professional stage of qualification. And finally, I will be already a qualified lawyer, not until you do the LPC or the BPC. In other words, you need to do the professional stage after your CPE or GDL. However, the GDL is equivalent to a law degree, and there are you'd be equivalent to a law graduate, and so you have the possibility to work as a paralegal, for example, on the basis of having a law degree. What are the differences between the CPE and the GDL? This is a question from Yashina. They are the same thing. The CPE is just a term that the professional societies in the UK, the Solicitors Regulation Authority and the Bar Council use to describe the course. The university designation for it is a GDL, but the CPE and the GDL are exactly the same thing. They're just different names for the same course. One is a professional designation and the other is an academic designation. I hope you found my answers helpful. Please feel free to keep posting any questions that you have. Thank you again for being online. I'm now going to be going offline, but of course I'm very happy to answer any questions you have by email. I can also arrange to speak to you by phone. There will be a link available for recording this webinar, and I will email you that information. And if you wish to email me and to get the link, please feel free to do so. Thank you again. I hope that you're interested in applying for our course, and if so, I hope I can see you in Brunel.